What's going on, everybody? We have to talk about another coin that has been pumping massively, like the most recent videos I've been making. This new coin is Axie Infinity. Now, it's not a new project. This thing has been out for a good minute, but it is pumping now, similar to how we've been seeing some of the older projects of the past have been pumping and breaking out as well. Because I went over ApeCoin, and ApeCoin is actually doing the same exact thing as Axie Infinity. So we're going to talk about these older coins just keep popping up out of the woodworks, and whether or not Axie Infinity is a good choice for right now. Anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, but let's get straight into it. Now, like I was mentioning before, Axie Infinity is up 34% in the last 24 hours. So that's pretty good. Well, 38%, 32% in the last week, 35% in the last 2 weeks, and 41% in the last 30 days. But it's still down 42% in the last year. And if you look over here, the all-time high was all the way up at $164, right? And the all-time low is at 12 cents, which was 5 years ago. But my biggest concern is the all-time high of $164. If you look at what Axie Infinity was doing back then, it was doing literally crazy, stupid numbers. $10.4 billion inside of market cap. That's B with a billion. 10.4 billion. That's actually crazy. And not only that, like when the price was that high, like Axie Infinity was on top of the game for all of gaming crypto, right? For all of gaming crypto, everybody was talking about Axie Infinity. It was the biggest thing of 2021 going into 2022. In 2022, it died out, but like at the end of 2021, it was literally going crazy alongside of like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. And the trading volume's looking decent right now at 720 million. But yeah, this thing has been going absolutely crazy. You guys can check out their website if you want. They've got games on here, marketplace, and then the whole Axie Infinity lore, as they call it. So you can, check that out for yourself. But the biggest thing here is why Axie Infinity is pumping. And for one, it's because a lot of older coins are pumping. Like I mentioned, ApeCoin was pumping, right? And now it's Axie Infinity. There's some other ones too. But one thing here is that CoinGecko is saying Axie Infinity is up 37% today following its migration to Ethereum. So if you guys didn't know, Axie Infinity, when you pull it up here, it says powered by Ronin Network. So if you actually go ahead and you look up what Ronin Network is, this is their Twitter, they call themselves the on-chain Nintendo. So the on-chain version of Nintendo, right? And obviously they don't work with Nintendo, but like they're calling themselves the on-chain Nintendo, right? Because they're the goats. That's what they're saying. And Axie Infinity was pretty much built around Ronin chain, right? So here is the Ronin chain, as you can see here, and Axie Infinity was built around this. So they kind of brought their popularity to the chain, right? They brought their popularity to the Ronin chain. But, that obviously is going to keep the growth at a certain point, right? Everything wasn't on Ethereum chain, right? And then also, if you look up here, what Ronin says themselves, they say it's coming by May 12th. So Ronin is coming home to Ethereum on May 12th. 4 years ago, we launched Ronin because Axie Infinity needed a faster and more efficient network. It worked. Axie Infinity onboarded millions of gamers to crypto and pixels, blah, blah, blah. So they're pretty much saying, look, we're going back to Ethereum. That's home. They did their thing on Ronin. Now it's Ethereum time. So, that could be a good thing for Axie Infinity and for Ronin and for Ethereum in general. So yeah, I think it'll be good for all of them. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with that. That's why it's pumping. You guys can look more into that if you want. But yeah, that is the general idea of why that's pumping. And then ApeCoin, on the other hand, ApeCoin's pumping just because it's been down for so long. Like people are literally waiting for something big to come. And this guy's right. He's like, older alts are pumping hard. Anyone knows what's cooking behind the scenes? Well, I just told you about what happened with Axie Infinity. I made a whole video for why Katana is going up, ApeCoin. But a lot of these older projects, like people are itching for them to pump, right? People are waiting for these projects to pump. They need some type of gains from them. They've been down for so long. So they've been holding, and when it pumps, what generally happens is the people that have been waiting for it to pump for so long, they end up selling at the first pump. And that's kind of what we're seeing for some of the coins. Like I talked about the coin yesterday, ApeCoin. right? And this is funny because I made this ApeCoin video yesterday, and I was telling people how this thing is going to have a pullback, right? I was like, hey, it's gonna pull back. It's not looking too good for ApeCoin. You guys, you guys might want to make a decision really soon. So, anyways, here is the chart that I had up for ApeCoin, and if you look at this, I mentioned that it was at a rising wedge. I mentioned that we had a rising wedge. Rising wedges are bearish patterns. So I mentioned the rising wedge, and then what happened? Well, this thing broke down below it. And actually, I mentioned it like right here. And then this happened, confirmed that it was definitely bearish, and they kept going down from there. So the same thing could easily happen to Axie Infinity. Now, I'm not going to say ApeCoin is not going to recover because it does look like some type of buying pressure is about to come in on the MACD. So we actually might see an even stronger push upwards on ApeCoin. It's a possibility. So I'm not saying that these coins aren't going to have, like a good run up, right? But I'm just saying that there's whales have been in for the longest time, and just normal retail buyers in general, and they're just waiting. They're literally waiting to get out of this thing. And it's like that for a lot of these altcoins. So, you know, some people still got to get shaken out. That's pretty much what I mean. And yeah, you're gonna start seeing price manipulation, and that's what all this is with all these older coins. It's price manipulation. They're literally just trying to you know, throw in the hook and be like, someone bite this hook and buy, so then they can dump on you guys and use you as exit liquidity. That this has been the whole goal of this whole bear market and this whole downtrend is exit liquidity. That is the main thing for this bear market, because this is what's happening to literally everyone who's buying into all these altcoins. They're all getting used as exit liquidity. So I would say be very, very, very careful. This guy says over half a billion dollars of trading volume on Axies within the last 24 hours. These are impressive numbers. The last time we saw a rise in volume like this, we've seen this push up to $3. And I'm seeing a lot of people saying stuff like this. And the thing with that is like, whatever you expect to happen is probably going to be the opposite of what happens. And that just goes for everyone. Whatever the masses is expecting to happen is probably going to be the opposite of what happens. The whales aren't going to let some massive run up happen if everyone's expecting a massive run up, right? No one was expecting this push inside of Axie Infinity that just happened, right? So since it just happened, and no one was really expecting it. Now everyone's kind of expecting for this thing to hit some huge recovery and like start going up, start going crazy. Honestly, I would say be extremely careful. If you look at the Fibonacci's here, it does not look good whatsoever for Axie Infinity. So be extremely careful here. Again, this does not look good. This does not look good. Like if you look at the overall chart, the overall chart is just a terrible look for Axie. Like look at the weekly chart. This right here is a terrible look. And usually I take my Fibonacci's, I take it from the swing high all the way from the top, all the way to all the way down to the bottom. But Axie Infinity is down so much, I don't even want to take it from the top of there. I just took it from the top of the last range. But as you can see here, like the next major resistance for Axie Infinity would be up here at about $3 and 80 cents, so about $3.83. And whether or not I believe it can get to that point doesn't really matter. I mean, they do have a lot of stuff that's about to start happening. They have the official migration back to Ethereum. So there is that possibility that we could see it pumping up to about $3.83, possibly. But I would not want to bet my money on that, because I just don't believe that this project is going to continue to hold. What I do think going on with Axie Infinity in the future is that it's going to be like most of these other projects where they like fizzle out and then out of nowhere just a bunch of buying pressure goes into them and they just pump hard. Like this is what's going to happen with Axie Infinity and all these projects. Just randomly pumps hard, but then they almost always dump back down and continue going down lower and lower, and then they'll do another hard pump. It might go above the previous one, and then it's going to keep selling down lower and lower and lower and lower. This is just how things usually work with these coins, unfortunately, right? I'm not saying that I don't believe that Axie Infinity could do any numbers, but it is what it is. Anyways, on the MACD, it does look like we have some bullish divergence here. So as you can see here, bullish divergence is higher lows on the MACD and then lower lows on the charts. As you can see here, lower lows on the charts, higher lows on the MACD. If you look over here, this is the MACD, higher lows on this MACD right here, as you can see there. And if we pull up the charts, you can see the whole time we have been creating lower lows on the charts for Axie Infinity. So technically, Axie Infinity does have bullish divergence on the MACD. So I would say if you're going to target a price, you could either look at the last pump, which brought us to $2, pretty much brought us to $3, or you can look at this area here. I think this area here is more viable. It's $3.83. So if you want to mark on your chart the level, $3.83, it's probably going to be that level. Solid support multiple times. Once back inside of October, September 2023, and then again back in August 2024. And then again, it dropped below it here inside of February 2025. And then it used it again as resistance in May of 2025. So I think $3.83 is a good level for Axie Infinity for resistance. If you believe it's going to be bullish, I'm not here to tell you whether or not it's going to be bullish or bearish. I don't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But if it does pump, expect $3.83 to be that resistance level. That's pretty much what I'm looking at here. So let me know what you guys think about this. Go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None is financial advice. And yeah, check out the link in the description for AXS, best on-chain DeFi perps trading for, you got stocks, you got crypto, you got Forex. You can trade everything on this platform. And check out Chart Prime, best automated trading indicators in the game. And if we were to look at the 30-minute chart to see what's about to immediately happen here on this and look at our Chart Prime automated trading indicators, we would see that we just now got rejected at a premium price point. Now we're trading right above the equilibrium price point, and there is some selling volume inside this area. So yeah, there's a possibility that it might not even keep going, right? There's a possibility it might not keep pushing up to $3.83. So like I said, be careful. You don't know what to expect from these coins. Like literally anything can happen with these coins right now. All these older altcoins, like they are being manipulated heavily. So if you're going to be trading one of these older altcoins, just know the market is controlled by the market makers at this point. All right. But yeah, this is all I got for you guys. And shout out to the member of the channel that recommended me to go over this video. Big shout out to you. If you guys want me to go over a project for you as well, then go ahead and become a member of the channel. Only $9.99 per month. You can have me cover any project as long as it's not a low cap scam coin. Anyways, shout out to you again. As always, I'll be back with another video.